We are booking appointments for all of the Genshin characters, and we are sorting them by how soon they need to go to therapy. Mitsuki only has so many spots. We gotta save those for those who really need it. Right, we're trying to make sure that everyone has their time slots and that Mitsuki isn't overwhelmed. We're not ranking this based on how bad each person's trauma is. It's based on how much they would benefit from therapy were they to go sooner rather than later. Because I don't want to rank people based on trauma. Because everyone's fucking traumatized and everyone should go to therapy. However, some people need to go see a therapist now.
Also, if it wasn't clear before, I am not a licensed therapist, nor do I actually study clinical therapy. A lot of the conclusions Chant and I will come to will be based on both the in-game content as well as some very common headcanons about certain characters based on the English translation of the game specifically. Certain implied relationships will also be discussed. You may disagree or agree with some of the decisions Chant and I will come to, and that's okay. I would love to hear your opinions on where your favorite character should go, or if there was any information we missed, but please be respectful in the comments. Thank you.
So the top is needs to see Mitsuki right the fuck now. The next one is book an appointment tomorrow. The one after that is I'll fit you in next week. The one after that is schedule one next month. And then the last one is optional but still should go. Aether and Lumine. Ooh. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna separate this because I'm gonna do Aether is going to be our main character and Lumine is going to be our Abyss sibling. So let's do Aether first. Our main character. Aether's living a harem life. He's chill. They're dealing with separation. The fact that his sibling is working for a counterintelligence agency, basically. I don't know, dealing with 6 different nations putting their burdens on you, that could do a lot to a person. They're good at dealing with it though. But are they good at dealing with it, or do we think that they are repressing their emotions? Maybe this is pretty high on the tier list. Maybe Aether actually does need to see Mitsuki right now. Headcanon, but I think Paimon is the one holding Aether together. I feel like for Paimon, Aether is kind of just like, you know what, I have to do it for the kids. I have to make sure she's okay. It's not about my feelings, it's about my child's feelings, you know? Lumine, our Abyss sibling. Lumine, abandoned by brothers, saw an entire nation fall by God's hand, sees people become monsters. Ooh, that's pretty bad. She literally tried to stop a genocide and was not able to stop it. That can fuck up a person. Dane's, oh my god, Dane's leaf is a trauma and a half. I feel like Lumine's also in the same boat as Aether, to where like they're both repressing their emotions. Lumine has been repressing for 500 years. Aether at least slept for most of that. That is true. They can book an appointment together. You know what? Perfect. Group therapy. We'll do it together. All right, Jean. Jean is overworked. She has a semi-awkward relationship with Barbara. I think it's urgent enough that she has to deal with like all of Mondstadt's problems and like try to hold everything together, plus all the Fatui like negotiations and stuff like that. She should probably book that tomorrow. She'll book it tomorrow, but she won't go and Lisa will drag her. You know what? That's fair. Lisa will drag her. And you know what? I trust Lisa in bringing her to therapy. Lisa, honestly, optional. She's also slowly dying. I don't know if she's optional. She is well adjusted. However, I believe that because she is slowly dying, maybe she needs to like see out her will or something like that. Girl chose this and accepted that. Lisa can handle it next month. Okay, let's put her in next month. Let Lisa die. It's fine. No. Okay, Amber. I know her grandfather died, but I think she's the most well adjusted out of everyone. Like she's chill. She's vibing. Amber probably is therapy herself. She helps call. That is true. She does help Kale too. Amber would volunteer to help others. I feel like she would be the therapist if Mitsuki wasn't the therapist, you know? All right, we got Noelle. Okay, Noelle has the issue of she has been trying to get into the Knights forever and still not being able to get in. But I feel like she's under the same category as Amber, as like they would also help other people go to therapy. Oh yeah, she is a people pleaser. Maybe she needs to work on that. Her people pleasing is interfering with her life and career. Next month, let's go with next month. Noelle will find the time. She'll always make her appointment. All right, we got Barbara. Bro's got a stalker. She needs to go see therapy like ASAP. And not even just Albert. It's like half of Mondstadt is being creepy towards her. The fact that she has to hide from people seeing her is crazy. Also, she's an idol. That's a whole other thing. Barb is also in a religious cult. I don't know about religious cults, but she does have to deal with a lot of the church stuff. I think tomorrow would be good. She can book it with Jean. It'll be fine. They can go together. And then they can talk about their sibling relationship and try to rekindle that, you know? All right, Sucrose. Sucrose is doing okay, I think. She does experiment with dead Hilichurl bones, but that's not something that is therapy related. I don't think. That's psych ward related. No psych wards for now. This is just that they need therapy. I don't think experimenting on dead things requires you to go to therapy, specifically. Maybe you should reconsider your options, but I don't think that warrants a therapy session. Her friends kind of disappeared out of nowhere and she doesn't know why. Oh my God, I forgot about that. She doesn't really talk about it that much. The anxiety, that is true. The anxiety is definitely going to interfere with her job. So, you know what? Let's give her, she's got a week. We don't have anyone slotted in for next week, so we'll put her next week. Official doesn't need therapy. Let her be Delulu. Okay, I'm thinking of like the Summertime Odyssey story. She literally confronted a different version of herself who talks down to her all the time. And her family still dead names her too. So that's something that she has to deal with. Maybe tomorrow? Okay, let's put her in tomorrow. Official needs a lot more than therapy. She needs to get out of her house. That's what she needs. She needs people that won't dead name her, you know? Mona, bold of you to assume she can pay for therapy. Listen, it's okay. Everyone gets one free therapy session at least. Mona has job-related issues. There's the fact that, like, she doesn't have money, usually. And that probably does contribute to her stress. But I also think because she is someone who can, like, tell people's futures and, like, even though she tries to tell the truth to them, people will be like, no, that's not true, blah, blah, blah. And she has to deal with all that. I think it's pressing enough that she will need therapy sooner rather than later. I think next month would be good for her. I think she's kind of accepted the fact that, like, people won't believe her, even though she knows the truth. But I think she should talk to someone about that. Oh God, Kaeya. Kaeya needs to go to therapy right the fuck now. Kaeya needs to go to therapy right now. He has Conria on his shoulders. He's got to deal with Dainsliff. He's dealing with an estranged brother. Krepus is dead. His dad's definitely dead. Like, who? Sibling therapy session, you know what? Diluc also needs to go up there. Both of them need to go to therapy. Both of them are going together, and they're going to reconcile. Let Diluc cook now! He needs to reconcile with Kaeya about the fact that he almost tried to kill him, okay? I am a Diluc stan. Don't get it twisted. I stan Diluc. I love Diluc with all my heart. He fucked up Kaeya. That man fucked up. Anyway, Razor. He does have the issue of not knowing who his parents were, minus the 1,000 wins event. He's like living life, but like, I feel like maybe next month. Razor doesn't even know therapy exists, where Lisa's gonna bring him to therapy. Lisa's gonna bring him to therapy. That's what I believe. Razor, I think while he does miss his family and stuff, mostly accepting of his life and content, I think Razor is optional. I still think he should talk to someone about it because remember during the Vinelesa Fest event, he kind of understands more about his family and like his parents, but I don't think he's ever talked to anyone about it. I think Bestie is not well balanced growing up with wolves. And you know what? He has to deal with being both a human and also living the wolf life. So I think because he needs to switch between two different lives, he should probably go next month. Bennett next week, bro, he goes through it all. Bennett deals with so much shit. With the fact with how unlucky he is, like, yeah, I get he's like a very happy-go-lucky person, but he's had to do that in order to survive. We'll put him in next week. Ningguang, I think Ningguang needs to go in the book an appointment tomorrow. I think she has the same issues as Jean. She handles it better, but I still think she overworks herself, you know? I think Ningguang needs to let off some steam with you-know-who. They can go to couples therapy. I think Ning is optional for next month. She has a lot going on. She's used to the pressure and handles well, delegates and has a loving girlfriend. She deals with enough shit for me to be like, she should go to therapy, you know? Maybe next month. Let's book her for next month then. Beidou goes with Ningguang even if she doesn't really need it. Yeah, I think Beidou's pretty okay, but she needs to go with her girlfriend. Kuching has an overworking problem, but that's about it. Tomorrow, she's been dealing with her like working thing for a while, and also she's been dealing with like us telling her, hey, you gotta chill the fuck out, you know? She obsessed with Rex Lapis. I don't think that's a call for needing to go to therapy though. I see Kuching as the same level of Jean. I feel like Kuching's a little better about her work-life balance than Jean is. But how long can she keep it up though? She can't say no. Ooh, that is true. She doesn't know how to say no. She is sleep deprived, so it is interfering with her sleep. She just masks it better. You know what? Fair enough. Let's book her for tomorrow. I'm saying this because Ganyu's honestly now. Oh, you're saying Ganyu is now? Like, even if she can handle it, she literally has not once accepted rest. Yeah. And also recently, I think we asked her to do something and then she didn't sleep the entire night just to finish it. Like, she needs to go. Now, Xiangling, I think she's probably also a well-adjusted person. Like, she's on the category of one of the first characters that we meet who is a pyro person and actually has an okay life. Xiangli needs a therapist to tell her not to eat its species to extinction, but other than that, seems optional. I think it's optional for her, yeah. I think she's all right. Let girl have hobbies. Eating a species to extinction is not a hobby. Oh yeah, and Guoba is her emotional support. That is true. Guoba needs to go to therapy, though. I don't have Guoba on here, but Guoba needs to go to therapy. I'll book him for next week. To be fair, does Guoba remember all of his trauma? I don't think all of it, but I feel like he should at least talk to someone about it. Sometimes your body can retain trauma even though you have lost your memories. That is true. Very true. All right, Chongyun. He's constantly talking down to himself about his yang energy, like preventing him from being an exorcist. He also deals with Chili screwing his constitution over. But that's more like he understands that he has a dietary restriction, so he avoids it. I feel like Chongyun needs it next month, but Xingqiu needs it next week. Like, I'm sorry, you're fucking over Chongyun every chance you get with the Dreyun chilies? And then there's also the fact that he's part of the Guhua clan, and he's trying to hide the fact that he is a famous writer. And yeah, and what happened with Lancer, right? Xingqiu needs to go to therapy soon. Okay, Chi-Chi. You don't think it would benefit Chi-Chi to go to therapy? Like, would she even retain any of it? That is true. But there is the whole fact of how she died. Getting chased by Hu Tao for a while is pretty traumatic. That is also true. Like the fact she stayed awake because she got reminded about it. Right, this lantern, right. Good thing Baiju is also around to help. I think she should go next month. Yeah, let's book her appointment for next month. And I'm putting Baiju with Chi-Chi, even though he has way more trauma, because they need to go together. Venti needs to go to fucking therapy, bro. Now! He needs to go. His dead friend dealing with the entire nation. Homie was asleep. His friend came back to Mondstadt and almost tried to destroy it. Dealing with all the other Archon shit. Like, he needs to go now. Also, he needs to go to rehab. Very true and real. Do any of the Archons not need to go right now, considering they have thousands of years of built trauma? You are right. Zhongli needs therapy. Raiden Shogun needs therapy. Nahida needs therapy. Farina? Oh, definitely. Girly Pop needs therapy. Malvika needs therapy. All of them, they need therapy. I feel like Malvika doesn't need therapy ASAP, maybe tomorrow. Like, Malvika definitely masks her trauma way more than we ever seen. 1 year later, Saritsa joins the Archon group. Real. Okay, Klee. Klee, I feel like, would be the therapist for a lot of people. What was it? It was either Windbloom or Vinelesa Fest. She basically acted as everyone's therapist in Mondstadt. I'm gonna put her in optional. I feel like we're minimizing Klee's situation. How so? Jean locks her up in her room and she plays with fire and bombs. Pyromaniac doesn't hold as much weight into that. That is true. Solitary confinement for a child is fucked up. Also for Klee and Alice, I don't feel like they see it the same way as we do. Yeah. I feel like Klee is so early in her developmental stages that she might not really understand a lot of this stuff. And also, Alice is chaotic, like mother, like daughter. So it's not that she needs therapy now. She will need therapy years later. You know what? That's kind of right. She will eventually need the therapy. Tortellini, bitch needs to go to therapy. You cannot change my mind. Homie needs to go. I don't like this man. I don't trust this man. Go to therapy. I'm sorry, his family is being held up hostage by the rooster and he's just like, oh yeah, the rooster's just taking care of my family. No, sir. The way he said it was a threat. You work for an organization that would kill you. Go to therapy. He was also stuck in the abyss when he was younger. Bro's so bored, so he picks fights with everyone. And that is not a healthy outlet. Okay, Diona. Diona is a child of an alcoholic dad. She also been exploited as child labor. That is true, but in the sense of in the world of Genshin, I feel like child labor laws are not as prominent. Like, I'm remembering Ningguang's story where she employs like 3 kids to be her intelligence network. Diona needs to also learn not to take her anger out on an entire industry that's not responsible. I need Diona and Diluc to end up in therapy together, and then both of them realizing, oh, we both hate alcohol. You know? Yeah, and Margaret, she minimizes her feelings. Yeah, and also the drunk man harassing her. I want to book her an appointment for tomorrow. I think she needs it. I don't think she can wait another week, honestly. Next list, Genshin NPC therapy list with Diona's dad at the top slot. Real. He needs to go to therapy. You know what? He needs to go to Alcoholics Anonymous. I think that's where he needs to go. Sinyan. I think she's masking a lot of her trauma. Like, yes, she's doing pretty well for herself, but also, I don't trust any idol. Every single idol on this list needs to go to therapy. And next week, yeah, I agree. She's got some shit to deal with, and she should talk to someone soon about that. Ooh, Albedo! You're going right now. You don't get an option. Therapy is for you. He is a homunculi. He has the whole shit with gold. There's the whole Conria backplot and the stress of his job, dealing with Klee, needing to hide a lot of the shit that he knows about from the Knights of Favonius probably. Bro needs to go. We also need to find all his siblings to go with him. Let's bring the therapist out to Dragonspine. And then we'll have a talk with his brother, you know? I'm sure stabbing a clone of yourself fucks up with your head a bit. Just a smidge, you know? All right, Xiao, you gotta go. He's a little bit better now. But hundreds of years of trauma, you gotta talk to someone. Please. You are repressing things, sure. Xiao is leaning on Traveler not dealing with his shit. That is true, he is coping. Xiao needs divine intervention, and he already had that multiple times with Zhongli. They can go together. Have a father-son moment. Hu Tao has family shit. She's dealing with the business. Hu Tao's haunted, being surrounded by ghosts and death constantly has to put a lot of stress on the psyche. True. I think Hu Tao is also masking a lot of the time. Also, like, dealing with the emotional labor of those who are coming into her funeral parlor with, like, grieving over family members or, like, people they know. That definitely takes an emotional toll. Bro, she died? She did kinda die. But I feel like she's okay with death. Like, she's more well-adjusted to the fact of death than a lot of the other people in this list. I think being okay with death and mortality still doesn't prepare you for, you know, dying. I guess, but I feel like at least you would be a little bit more comfortable with the fact of death, you know? She was clearly shaken up by it before she went to the Gate of Death, too. That is true. All right, well, let's book her for tomorrow, then. All right, Rosaria. I think she needs the help. She needs to talk to someone about the fact that, like, she basically got raised by treasure hoarders. She also killed her father figure, so a bit of a daddy issue. Yeah, and that's probably traumatizing because she did that as a kid. And then I think Varka took her in, if I remember correctly. She's functioning, and actually she's also self-medicating. Yeah, she is also drinking to forget, in the same vein as Kaeya. Tomorrow. Yeah, let's book her for tomorrow. Okay, Yanfei. Yanfei, I think she has a lot of stress during work, but other than that, she's fine. I mean, there is the whole, like, dealing with being half human and half Adeptus, but she's pretty okay. She was locked up with us in the chasm. That is true. Yanfei should go to therapy, but I think it should be optional for her. I think Yanfei would also be the type to go, just in case. Okay, Eula. She does have the issue of she is from a lineage of people who were slave owners and were in charge of the monarchy in Mondstadt until it fell. So she's still dealing with a lot of the classism issues. She literally lets herself get shit on because she feels guilty for her lineage. Don't get me wrong, I think the Lawrence clan does need to atone for, like, the fact that they were a really shitty monarchy, but I also feel like she should not put the entire clan on her shoulders, you know? Same way that Kaeya puts the entire Alberich clan on his shoulders, Eula does the very similar thing, and I think she needs to understand that she is one person, you know? She has a massive burden to carry because of her name and also her dumpy. That's wild. I think she would definitely benefit going tomorrow rather than next week, because she does have anger issues that does interfere with her relationships, and she needs to not hold the weight of the world on her shoulders, you know? All right, Kazuha. I don't know, losing your friend, having to fight your nation's leader, but also, he does live by the wanderer lifestyle. He's a very, like, let it go type of person. Kazuha meditates and reflects. I think he's optional. I think he has a lot of the tools needed to help him get through the trauma, but I also think he masks through a lot of it. I definitely feel like he's the type of person that doesn't want other people to worry about him. So I'm gonna book him for tomorrow. Bro's hiding it very well, yeah. All right, we're in 2.0. Ayaka. She lost her family. She's kind of the head with her brother. She has a lot of work stress. She doesn't deal with a lot of the dirty sides of being the head of the Kamisato clan, but she does have a lot of pressure. She needs therapy for her forehead. That's crazy. I think we should book Ayaka and Ayato for an appointment tomorrow. Both of them need therapy for very different reasons, but it all comes down to the fact that they're the head of their clan, you know? Yoimiya's fine. She's doing good for herself. She has fun. She's a little bit of a pyromaniac, but that's the same problem as Klee. Yoimiya and the Aranaras are the therapists? You know what? Maybe she works part-time with Mitsuki. Aranara reception desk? Oh my god, just having the little Aranaras, it's like no one can see them. They think that the reception desk is empty, but then somehow you get a slip of paper that tells you when your appointment is. Perfect. All right, Sayu is a child. I love her. She'll need more therapy when she grows up. She wouldn't benefit going right now, you know? All right, I'm putting Sayu next month. All right, Kujou Sara. I think she has work-related stress. And I think being part of a clan that had conspired to go against your government while you're also working for the government, I think that's something that is concerning. I think the issue with her is she didn't question Raiden's policies until it turned out she was being betrayed. I think she fell for the propaganda. Tomorrow for being extra devoted to the Shogun is crazy. Sara's also fixated and obsessive. She loves Raiden. Is devotion considered obsession? It can draw upon the lines of it. Sara has 5 statues of A in her home. I think that's considered obsessed. I guess, but also, like, would you have the same criticism of someone who has multiple, I don't know, posters or acrylics or figurines of a character in real life? I don't think I would essentially consider that obsession, personally. Other people have way more of their idol celebrities. Sara is not that hardcore. Yeah, I don't think I can put Sara on the level of Saseng just yet. She's kind of like Keqing, but she's not that much overworked. I think Kujou Sara does understand the need for rest, though. I'm gonna put her in a month. I think she's doing okay, but the work-related stress will get to her at some point, you know? All right, Kokomi. Being a leader, she needs to go. I don't know why, but Kokomi probably represses her emotions a lot. She does. Remember, like, in her story quest, she, like, bases her energy levels on, like, how much she needs to do throughout the day. So she has to mask in order to preserve her energy, you know? She got so overworked, she almost passed out. Exactly. People hold her in such a high regard where I'm just like, okay, she needs to go, because she has that air of needing to be perfect. All right, I'm putting you tomorrow. Aloy just doesn't exist, bro. Aloy is dealing with her own shit. I don't have context for her actual game, but like in the story quest, she doesn't show up, so we don't know. You know what? I'm making an Aloy tier. All right, Aloy's going in the Aloy tier because she doesn't do shit in this game. In her own game, she definitely needs it now, but Genshin, not so much. Yeah, she doesn't have anything to do with, like, the context of Genshin, so I don't want to, like, rank her based on that. She needs therapy for being the most neglected character. Is crazy. She doesn't even have constellations. Like, damn, that would hurt. All right, Toma. I think Toma needs it. He does have to deal with the fact that, like, his father died at sea, and he literally went to an entire other country, got stuck there, and is actually doing pretty well for himself. So, ooh, that is true. He did get captured by Raiden and almost had his vision taken from him. I'm gonna put him for next week, mainly because we don't have a lot of bookings for next week. And also, I don't think it's pressing enough for me to put him for tomorrow. Itto. Itto is just head empty. He does have the whole racism aspect with like being ostracized from society because he's an Oni, but also I think he masks a lot and he puts on this personality of being like carefree in order to hide a lot of his feelings. Yeah, but he also has so many buddies. But also, I would like to counterpoint that his buddies are all yes men. None of his buddies, except for Kuki Shinobu, calls him out on his bullshit, you know? There was also the issue with his friend. Oh yeah, the blue Oni. Next week would be good. I'm gonna book Itto for next week, and I'm dragging Kuki Shinobu in there so that she holds him accountable. I think Shinobu also does need therapy for dealing with Itto's bullshit, but she's gonna have to go with him to therapy. Otherwise, he's not going. Book the whole gang. We're gonna have a group therapy session. Everyone is gonna go. All right, Goro. You're saying Goro needs to go now, both for war stuff and for Yae. The Yae stuff, I think, is very, very prominent. He probably does have PTSD from like the war and stuff. Maybe I should book him with Kokomi. I think he needs it, especially for dealing with Yae. They can go together. They have the therapy sessions one after each other, you know? Shenhe! Shenhe needs to go down. Oh my god, your entire family abandons you because they thought you were cursed? Go to therapy. Yunjin, you have the idol problem. You have the problem of people constantly needing your attention and like, there could be stalkers in the same way that Barbara exists. You kind of do pretty well for yourself, though. Like, other than the stress of being the head of the Yuhan opera troupe, I don't remember anything else. I'm gonna put you in next week. I don't think it's urgent enough for you to go tomorrow. Next week should be fine for you, I think. Yae Miko. She does have the entire thing of like, she is a yokai and she has lived thousands of years. And that's definitely a cause for concern. Yae Miko she's dealt with the loss of her yokai friends and A for a long time. That is true. And she didn't talk to anyone about it while that was happening in the whole closing off of Inazuma. And she's a leader of the shrine. Also, her girlfriend was gone for like 500 years without any warning too. Like, homie said, take my gnosis and dipped. Yeah, you're gonna go. I'm gonna put you right next to A. Y'all gonna go together and have counseling together. Yelan, she deals with so much shady shit with her job. And also, she probably has had to kill people via her job. That's definitely something that you should talk to about. Also, her friend all dying and being like, I'm never letting anyone die on my watch again, so I work alone. Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that one. Like, there was a reason why she was so adamant about going against Xiao's Mario behavior. Yeah, she's lost a lot of people. Yeah, you go tomorrow. Heizou, he has the same situation as Yelan, wherein, like, their jobs are incredibly demanding and they have to see a lot of shit with their jobs. But also, there's, like, the fact that he has to hide a lot of information from people. And that definitely takes a toll on them, you know? I'm gonna put Heizou next week. I don't think it's pressing enough to do it tomorrow, but he definitely needs to talk to someone about this stuff soon, you know? Okay, Tignari. I feel like he deals with a lot of people's issues. He needs therapy from all the bad pun jokes. He needs couples therapy. That's what he needs. He deals with Saido. I love that all of you guys are just like, yeah, Saido is the reason why he needs therapy. He needs accommodations for everything being loud all the time. Ooh, that is true. But I feel like he would need to go to like a hearing specialist instead in that case. I think he is optional. Just because Sumer was so long ago and that's when he got struck by lightning, I think he should still go, but he can book it whenever he needs to, you know? And then he needs to go to see a doctor that specializes in hearing so that he can, at least for like loud sections, he has something that can accommodate that, like his hearing, so it like muffles the sound or something. A reverse hearing aid. That's just an earplug, actually. I forgot the word for earplug. You should ask Alhaitham where he got his headphones. If I remember Alhaitham made those, then hook his Omi up. Like, give one to Tignari. I think he would like them. All right, Kale. She has a lot to go through. She is getting better, I will say. But, like, she can't have people touching her without being affected. And, like, Dodore by itself, like, anytime Dodore's involved, I'm just like, you gotta go, bro. Like, she's just one step away from unleashing a snake god. Yeah, maybe she does need to go sooner rather than later. I think tomorrow would be good for her. You're doing better, but talking to someone other than Tignari would be helpful. Ooh, Dori. Okay, ignoring the fact that she is sleazy, she did lose a sister, and now she has a fear of losing out on money, you know? Which is why she has this obsession over, like, needing to make as much money as possible. And that fucks up other people's day because she's just like, I don't know, trying to swim them out of their money, you know? Next week, I feel like Mitsuki needs time to work on Dori. Yeah, I think she needs, like, at least 5 sessions with her. I feel like that'd be good. Okay, Sino also has work-related issues. He does have the god in his body, and, like, there was the whole quest with him. He also was essentially abandoned at the academia. He definitely hides his problems from other people, but I feel like he has come a little bit to terms with the Hermanubis stuff. He's similar to Yelan in the sense that he has a lot of previous trauma that has come up recently, especially dealing with like family or close relationships, but is semi-well adjusted but still masks around other people. He's coping with jokes in TCG. Damn, I think the actual reason is to make him not seem so scary to others, but it could also be another reason. I think it's both a coping mechanism and that. So in that logic, I'm gonna put him tomorrow, even though I partially feel like he should be here next week, but I think it'd be better for him to deal with that stuff now, you know? Okay, Candace, you are in charge of Aru Village and you do have to deal with a lot of stuff relating to that. Other than that, I think you're fine. She also has a god issue, right? But I don't think it's the same issue as Sino's, if I remember correctly. I think there's a voice line where she said the whole god power thing was more legends than reality. Oh, okay. Right, and then we thought that during the Nahida birthday thing, like something was happening when that wasn't the case, I guess. Yeah, I think next month would be good for you. Nilu, Nilou exists in this story. And other than that, I know nothing. Nilou pretty much just wanted to open up more opportunities for the arts in Sumeru, but other than that, she seems okay. I feel like she takes care of a lot of other people's problems. I think similar to Candace, like she's in charge of a group of people that the main government does not take care of in general, so they have to pick up the slack. I'm gonna put her with Candace. I think they're both in very similar situations where they should talk to someone. But other than, like, dealing with the fact that they're leaders, they're okay, you know? Layla, she has the issue where, like, she talks down about herself a lot as well. And then there's the whole, like, second half of her, which that second half of her, I don't know what's going on. But they can go to group therapy together. Layla might need to see a therapist and a specialist. I feel like she needs to see the specialist more than the therapist. She definitely has a lot of stress. She might have high blood pressure. I think she needs to go to see a doctor about her sleeping schedule. But therapy-wise, maybe next month? Book your doctor's appointment first, girly pop. Wanderer? Go right next to the girlfriends. Right there. The 3 times people betrayed me, homie. Like, go, please. You gotta talk to someone. Convenient that you put him next to Nahida, because I doubt he'd go himself. Nahida would bring him along. They're gonna have a little bit of group therapy, and then somehow they run into Yae Miko in the hallway, and they're just like, fuck. Faruzan. Because she has been out of touch for 500 years, I think she needs to go. Like, it's not optional for her. Faruzan's definitely a masker. I think her acting old is a way of coping, really. I definitely feel like she has a persona to her in the sense that she tries to act all high and mighty because she's trying to deal with the fact that, like, everything she knew before is gone. I'm gonna put you in next week. I think next week would be good for you. Also, we don't have a lot of people next week, so we gotta even out the bookings, you know? Alhaitham. I'm so biased against him, but I do also think he needs therapy. He's a masker, for sure. Not sure if he's a masker or just doesn't give a fuck. I think it's a little bit of both. I feel like he still cares about things, you know? But he acts in a certain way where it seems like he doesn't. But I don't think there's anything super pressing that needs to be dealt with other than work stress. He at least needs couple therapy. Yeah, that is true. They gotta go together. Kaveh would be the person to drag Alhaitham to therapy, though. I'm gonna put Alhaitham and Kaveh next week. Kaveh definitely needs more therapy than Alhaitham does because he uses alcohol as a coping mechanism, but the only way Alhaitham is gonna go to therapy is if Kaveh drags him. So, Yao. I know she was raised by the Adepti, or at least, like, hangs around with a lot of the Adepti. I don't know if she has trauma because her parents still exist. I mean, she could have gotten parental trauma, but family-wise, I think she's okay. I think Yao should probably still go, but I think it's optional. I think she's under the same scenario as, like, she might need therapy later on in life, but not right now. Dihya has the issue of, like, her dad literally dying and her not finding out until after he's, like, dead, and then finding out all the stuff that he did for her. So that's definitely something that she needs to talk to someone about. She also found out she was adopted. Yeah, she also found out she was adopted very recently. I say recently, Sumeru was like 2 years ago. She does deal with mercenary work, which means she has to maybe kill people? I think she's doing fine, and she's masking, but Dihya should go next week. I don't want to put it off for another month, because I don't think she's talked to anyone about her dad's situation, you know? And she's definitely the type of person to put that off. All right, Mika, poor thing, is jumping at his own shadows. I mean, he does have to deal with the reconnaissance company, and, like, yeah, there is stress at work. I think next week would be good for you, because it is interfering with your work, and you do have to do a lot of socialization in the Knights of Favonius, but I don't think putting it off till next month would be good for you, because it's very prominent. Kirara has a lot of stress at work. But other than that, I think she's fine. I think she's just dealing with post office issues most of the time. Well, I'm gonna put you in optional, but I definitely think you should go due to work stress. Okay, we're in Fontaine. All right, Linny. Aside from dealing with Fatui bullshit, he's doing pretty okay. Like, he's with his siblings. He's having a good time. He's doing a job that he likes. He never has to worry about money, really. And he's also an orphan, that is true. For the twins, there is the trauma of almost losing his sister and the guy that taught them magic that died and was framed. Oh, yeah, with Linny's story quest. I think next week would be better, and I'm putting Linny, Lynette, and Fremine there. like all together. I think all of them need therapy for different reasons and they're all gonna go together. But I'm gonna put Arla for tomorrow because she has to do way more shit than any of these three have to. You know, Arla definitely needs to deal with the fact that she had to like see her dead friend again. Also, her past family trauma of being an orphan and then having to murder other people for it. They're dealing with the emotional burden of needing to erase the orphan's memories if they want to leave the hearth as well. So there is an emotional toll there. I think she needs to go right now, honestly. Arla would be very hard to get into therapy. She's very locked down, I feel like. She definitely masks for sure, for sure. All right. Nouvelette, you gotta go. You gotta, please. Mr. Dragon, don't cry, please go to therapy. You and your boyfriend, actually, both of you go to therapy right now. One of you is literally a dragon and has to deal with being a dragon in a human world. The other one literally murdered his adopted parents because they were trying to traffic children and constantly masks the fact that he is doing okay most of the time. Both of y'all go to therapy. Charlotte, you have the issue that you work in journalism, and journalism can put you in some very dangerous situations sometimes. I don't think you need it immediately, but I think you should go sooner than later. I'm gonna put you next month. Navia, she has a leadership position. She's got the whole thing with her family, and like the fact that her father was demonized for a long time. Oh, and losing Silver and Malus tomorrow. Chevy, I think you also have a job-related issue one. I think story-wise, I don't think there's anything really pressing about her. Dad? Oh shit, right, the helicopter dad. She's going in next week. I don't think she can put it off for a month. Xianyan, go now. You need therapy. You lived for hundreds of years. You've lost a lot of friends. You're dealing with a lot of shit. Go now. Okay, Gaming. The whole Lantern Rite shit did resolve, and you did talk it out with your dad, but I feel like you need a follow-up appointment. Next week, yeah, that's fair. You should go next week with your father, do a follow-up appointment, talk out your feelings, and then you'll be fine. Okay, Chiori. I think Chiori is mostly like, it was dealing with a lot of competitors and being a girl boss, but I'm not sure, like, family-wise, if there's anything there. Her trailer implies that she was given to the Taylor's family and was basically trained like a slave. I genuinely do not remember that. She had a strict childhood. She's trying to prove herself she is the best, kind of bit of a perfectionist. I say next month. It's pressing enough for me to say that she should definitely go, you know? Okay, Clorande, it's a lot of job-related work too. She constantly duels people. Her family was also a little bit fucked up, I think. She needs a D&D session? That's a coping mechanism. She's gotta talk out her feelings. Who needs therapy when you got escapism? No! I'm booking her an appointment tomorrow. You can go with your girlfriend. Siegeween. She does deal with a lot of shit in the Fortress of Meropide. Still remember seeing Siege so cute, then learning about her dark past? Yeah, Siegeween had that whole thing when her friend died because the parents were too racist to let Siegeween help her. Yeah. Oh yeah, and the face changing thing, she literally manipulated her entire body to look more human. But I don't think she deals with that same situation now because of what we learn about in Nouvelette's story quest, where the Melzies are kind of like accepted more. She seems remarkably well adjusted now, but those issues are definitely still there. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think there's enough for her to go next week. Yeah, I think there's too much for her to deal with that I can't put it off for another month, you know? Sethos, I don't know about next week or tomorrow though. That next week booking's looking a little full though. I don't want to put him for next month because he has a lot of shit to deal with. He has the whole God thing. There's the whole cult issue that he was a part of. The leader died. He needs to go tomorrow. Emily is a crime scene investigator. That will fuck you up. She also has a very specialized role in crime scene investigation, mostly centered around sense and chemistry, so the cops are more likely to call her in for less gruesome scenes. True. But I think she handles it pretty well. I think she is required due to her job description, but I think she can put it off for a month at least. Mualani. She is the therapist in Natlin. Like, Mualani is truly the Yoimiya of Natlin, and that's why she should go in optional. Mualani is scheduled next month to me because Auntie Atea. Oh, right. That is true. That is a very recent event. But I think even then, I think she's kind of accepted that Atea is gone now. Like, I definitely feel like in Natlin, the idea of death is less taboo and like people talk about it more. So I think she'll be okay. I think she should still go. They do be dying and coming back a lot, exactly. But I do think Kachina needs to go in next month. I think she needs to talk about the fact that she doesn't feel confident in herself. And I think therapy could help her with that. Kinich. Therapy ASAP? That's crazy. I think he definitely represses his emotions. Kinich carried his own dad's corpse home after his dad fell to his death from a swinging drum. Kinich needs therapy more so because of Ahao's antics. That is true. He's more accepted his father's death, but Ahao, that fucker is egregious real. Yeah, maybe him and Ahao should talk tomorrow. I feel like that would work very well for them. All right, Shilonin. There was the whole thing of like needing to do a sacrifice or sacrificing herself or something with creating the ancient name. I don't know if she was supposed to die. Like something was supposed to happen and it never happened. Or maybe we just misread it and everyone thought she was supposed to die when that was never the intention and it was like a translation issue. I thought it was more like some of her life force would be drained from it. Oh, okay. Maybe we all just interpreted that as she was gonna die when in fact it's just like, it maybe just takes some years off your life, you know? That makes more sense then. I don't know where I want to put Shilonin. She does need it, for sure. But I think the therapy is more needed for Napeka than it is for her, you know? Next month? All right, next month she goes. Chaska needs to go to therapy. Chaska needs so much therapy. Chaska, you gotta go, girly pop. You need to go. Koichi? She doesn't really talk with her parents really well, and like she's constantly hiding things from her family. There's the whole transitioning from her Saurian family to her human family and feeling ostracized by other people because you were raised by Saurians too. Like, she's in charge of needing to mitigate everyone's problems. Girl, you gotta go. Auroran has issues when it comes to Sitlali. I think Auroran and Sitlali should go together, and I think you should go tomorrow, actually. Both of you need to go tomorrow. There's a lot of shit you gotta talk out with each other. They need therapy so bad that listening to them talk gave me flashbacks to arguments with my family is crazy. Sitlali definitely needs therapy in the sense that, like, she is hundreds of years old, and she has had no one to talk to about people around her dying, you know? Lanyan's doing okay, right? You think Lanyan's chill? I think she's doing okay. I don't really know too much about her, like, story quest, at least. I'm gonna be real, the Lantern Rite did not really focus on her. She makes rattan dolls. I don't have her character story unlocked, so I don't know about that. I think she's doing fine. You should still go, but I'm gonna make it optional for you for right now. And finally, Mitsuki. Mitsuki, you're a therapist. You need to go on the top of this list for sure. You are the person that needs therapy the most. You are a therapist. The therapist definitely will need to get some therapy after dealing with all this bullshit. All right, but this is our final ranking. I feel like the writer did a good job for all these characters. If we can yap about them for this long, right? The good thing about Genshin characters is that they have a good baseline that you can expand upon yourself or through the fandom. Yeah, I definitely think that a lot of what we covered today does have a little bit to do with the fandom as well. There are so many characters to yap about in the first place, but also, let's be real, a lot of our headcanons about certain characters don't actually come from the game. It's what we imply, you know? So I do have to give credit to the fandom itself as well as the HoYo writers for doing a good job on writing pretty interesting characters, actually. Eve's gonna need therapy from booking all these people's therapy? That's wild. Listen, it's healthy for everyone. Everyone needs someone to talk to about things.